Hello. Hopefully this is working. I've switched to headphones this evening because my 3D printers are on in the background, and if I was using my normal microphone you might get a load of feedback, which you may still also be getting. So let me know and I will try and fix that. Also, if the music's too loud, let me know and I'll tone that down as well. If there is anyone in the chat, of course. If anyone's there early, hope you're okay. Tonight we're going to be painting this little dwarven dude here. So I can get the lighting right on him. Again, no idea where this guy's from. He came from the sort of drawers of minis. As you know from the previous shows, I've been doing like a sort of a warband for fantasy. Who knows, it could be Frostgrave, it could be Rangers of Shadowdeep, it could be many things. So this guy's going to join that motley crew. Yeah, let's see if I can get a better look at him. There you go. So, but as per normal, we'll do him in sort of tabletop condition. But yeah, let's say if anyone does appear in the chat, just let me know A, you can hear me okay, and B, that the music, if there is any in the background that you can hear, that it's not too loud, or also maybe too quiet. You want a nice balance between listening to me rabbit on and some tunes in the background. Sadly, it is all going to be free to use licensing because rules that you can't listen to music that costs monies. But yeah, if anyone's there, good evening, hope you're well. If you're up to any hobby, chuck it in the channel. If I talk about anything, chuck it in. If you're from the Beast of War Discord, we can talk about the radio show last night, any topics that came up in that. Or just do some hobbying. Just lurk in the background. Do some hobby, chuck me some pictures to give me something to look at. Oh, that's a good start. I just knocked his hand off with my fingers. That was well stuck, wasn't it? We'll be repairing that in a second. So this guy will be in a mixture of contrast and normal paints because I want to do the metals on the rim of the shield, etc, etc. My mic volume is going up and down, so I'm assuming that means you can hear me. Which is all I just want to establish first of all. I have done about an hour's painting before, and then someone mentioned, oh, you're not speaking much tonight, and I'm thinking, I've been speaking for the past hour. It turns out my microphone was on mute for a good hour of the sort of session, which was good. quickly fix this guy's arm before we go any further. Okay, cool. Just stick away from that part for a bit. That should hold. Hey Mort, hey Amanda. Thanks for popping in. Can you let me know if you can hear me okay, guys? Because I'm using Lena's dialect tones, but you'll do. Thanks, man. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me okay, because I've switched over to a headset because the 3D printers are whirring away in the background, and I didn't want to be too much feedback. So hopefully you can hear a bit of music. Not the best sound quality. Oh, okay. I'm printing. I'll give you a quick. I can hear you, but the music is a bit loud. Okay, cool. Let me turn that down then. Must admit, I'm not too fussed about. Let me know if that's any better, or it needs to go down further. So Mort, I'm printing the new Wasteland set from Printable Scenery. So at the moment, I'm doing the crashed aeroplane. Good, thanks, Amanda. So yeah, this is the fuselage of the plane. Yeah, so this is it. You can see inside the plane there. This is the nose cone of the plane. No, that's fair enough. And I only did the Wasteland set, so there was 3 sets you could get. There was like an Aztec world piece. There was a planetary sort of dungeon system, and then there was this stuff. And the only terrain I don't really own. I own some TT combat sort of buildings, but it's not very good. Is post-apocalyptic, so I purely just went on the Wasteland stuff. So at the moment the tail section is printing, and then still on the little flash, the flash forge, that's still kicking along, the old girl. I'm doing these barriers on there, so these are printing up nice little barrier units. I've just hit these with a grey prime at the moment. Yeah, bless its cotton socks, absolutely. And it still does a great job, right? I mean, these take about 6 hours each bit to do, but I'm running it on high now. I have found it's wearing out a bit, so I have to up the heat a bit and also up the quality a little bit. But high, 6 hours for a nice solid piece of terrain, it's not so bad. This thing, I mean, this took, on the Anycubic, this took almost 2 days to print. But you're only going to print it once, right? There's not only so many crashed airplanes you need. But yeah, the that post-apocalyptic stuff, it looks really cool. Oh, nice. That's a good idea, that, to recoup some costs back if you can. I mean, do you do a ride out of it? Is it worth doing it? I'm not going to jump in and steal your business model, that's for sure. But I don't know. Is it cost effective enough for you to be able to do it and then come out with something at the end of it? Because I guess at minimum you want to cover obviously your actual cost, but then things like maintenance on the printers and all this sort of stuff. Ah, that's brilliant then. Ah, that's good then. Well, that's cool. If you're doing it, if you've got that sort of, by just doing it, I get to have a US trip to your Gary Con or Gen Cons or anything like that. That's a pretty cool way of thinking about it. Yeah, the DM. I do like the DM screen. I have seen that. That's very, very cool. So Amanda, this is all FDM, so this isn't resin. So I have seen that you can use uh, you can wash the saying now that it's just as good as using IPA. But I don't have a resin printer yet, so I couldn't really comment. But there's definitely lots of videos on it online, as far as I'm aware, of people showing that you can just use water to wash off resin prints, and it's not an awful lot different. Yeah, it doesn't come off. Oh, okay. If you bought those, people use the what are they called? Pickling jars or something, where you like in literally you can sort of pump it and it wash and it kind of makes a. Yeah, you got those. Yeah, I know that's what I've seen. Um, so Noise Attack would be good to talk to. You know, Gaz on Beast of War. He's doing quite a lot of resin printing now. Obviously, Warzan Warren, he does it an awful lot at home. So they might have some ideas, but I don't know if it's the type of resin as well, because I know there is your normal resins, and then there's also, isn't there like a plant-based one, which I think is supposed to be pretty good, but I don't know if it's different types of resins, obviously. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Well, there you go then. Hmm. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to be much help on that one. I don't know too much about it. Is this an Atlantis minute? This might be more. Maybe you would know. This one was. I did the bear. I don't know if you saw the bear I painted, but um, this turned out to be an Atlantis mini, so there's always a chance. So that's what I painted last time on stream, um, and I had no idea where this came from. It turned out that this was, and I saw, yeah, I did see you did a bear as well. I did see that on your Instagram. So yeah, this it turns out that's an Atlantis mini. So there's a good chance this is as well. Where these are all from is a while ago I used to get something called your model box, which was like a monthly subscription box. I don't do it anymore, completely open. I found that I was getting to the point where I was getting a lot of random stuff, and I didn't need more random stuff, so I don't do it anymore. And I think that's where a lot of these miniatures come from, because I don't remember ever buying this. So this definitely came from one of those kind of boxes. Actually, a hair on the end of my brush there. Yeah, it might. You're probably right. You are. I'm just picking stuff out of the drawers, really. I upload these to YouTube when I've done them, and I've kind of called a series like Primer to Tabletop, where over the course of about 2 hours, I'll paint a miniature all the way up from Primer to what I consider to be sort of tabletop ready. So it's nice to just grab something random out of the drawer of all sorts and paint it up. So I've got a nice little warband now of fancy miniatures that I'm going to use for things like Frostgrave or Rangers of Shadow Deep when I finally get around to playing that game. Yeah, it is a bit. It is a, but that's okay. I've seen plenty of dwarves tend to sometimes be a bit more wider and chunkier than everything else, so they're not too bad. What do they call it? Probably more like 30 mil or something like that, isn't it? I guess rather than classic 28 mil or 28 mil God scale or whatever the various different terms people have for when things are slightly larger than they would probably need to be. Right. Yeah. I mean, I've definitely got some dwarves. I've got some original. GW Dwarf somewhere, and they won't be this big. he'll, but then I guess if I compared him to, hang on, what are these guys I've got here? Yeah, I have some dwarves. Yeah, they're not too bad. That's pretty. Yeah, cobwebs are on this, look. It's been sat there for a long time without being touched. Yeah, near enough. Are you painting anything at the moment, Manda? Are you printing anything more? You up to? Are you just, like you say, you're working out how much materials and time you need? Yeah, no worries, buddy. Ugh. Right, well, I need to think about what I'm doing here. What am I doing? I'm going to do this tunicky bit in red. That's what I want to do. There's only a very tiny amount of it. Oh yes, I saw that. Yeah, I've seen them popping up on the Discord. They look cool. How are you finding? I mean, like I say, I haven't got myself a resin printer yet. How are you finding the whole process of just setting up and cleaning and then getting the printer back ready again for the next print job? Is it quite easy once you've done it a few times? Because with FDM printers, once you've kind of got them leveled and you know how to sort of unclog the print head or anything, it's pretty much fire and forget. I print pretty much, oh, I want to print something, there it is, press print, go. I don't even really need to put any thought into it. Apart from time, it's like, okay, this is going to print for the next 12 hours. Oh, that's good to hear. Which printer did you get in the end? Was it the Elegoo Mars, or I was looking at the Photon Zero, I think it was. Oh, okay, the Creality. Yeah, cool. I know everyone's kind of going, something's bit me. I've been bitten by an insect on the back. I can feel it. Something's flown in the door there and bitten me. Son of a gun. I know there's the new one now, isn't there? There's the Saturn, which has got a much larger print bed. So I don't know if I might hold out and see if that becomes more readily available. I know at the moment it's nigh on impossible to get hold of. Oh, okay. Nice. Was it crazy expensive compared to the other? Because what's the average? About 300 for them now, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I think 300 is kind of like the benchmark for getting whether you go any Cubic or Creality or Elegoo Mars. I think they're all around that sort of price point. I think the Saturn is more going to be 400-ish. Hey, Sonic. Here, Chris. You up, buddy? Any retro gaming tonight, mate? Any more Tony Hawk? You're definitely getting better at it from what I could see. Oh, really? What was that? You've been effing and jeffing. Oh, I see. I'll probably have to do the same with my stream. So on Monday nights, I stream Dungeons and Dragons with a group, um, and two of them in the group can't help themselves with the swears. So yeah, with the F bombs, absolutely. And one of them is supposed to be playing, a sort of holy sort of paladin, and he's dropping the F bombs all over the place. I wish I could say it was just F bombs. Welcome back, more. The S, the C words, they have this yes. Which is all well and good when you used to run it on Discord. If someone swore, you'd be like, ah, ha, that's, that's good. But when it's in the middle of your stream, you're like, okay, this is the point where I'm gonna get some sort of ping notification on your stream is bad. Luckily, not enough people watching to actually find out. Hit with an naughty stick, yeah. I can't think if I've got mine set to mature or not. I think I used to have it set to mature, and I may have taken it off. Don't you get like a little notification when you join or something if it is, don't you? To say this streamer has marked this stream as mature. He may be wearing a low-cut top whilst painting miniatures. See, that's a niche that's not been done. Yeah, exactly. No, if I haven't. No, I clearly haven't. Oh no, is that niche been filled? Is it? It's the scantily dressed whilst painting miniatures. Is that? Have I missed the boat on that one? Damn it. I'll have to come up with a new USP. That's what we got to do to get them views. Do what's got to be done. Ah, cool. What's the stream? You ever painted a model and just not felt a connection with it? I have no connection with this model whatsoever. I'm like sticking paint on it, but I'm just not feeling anything towards it. It's rare that happens, but this definitely is one of those occasions where I'm like, yeah. Sorry, Mr. Dwarf, I'm just not bonding with you right now. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Sometimes you pick up a model and you're like, oh, this is going to be good fun. I mean, you can almost see it painted. When you look at a blank miniature, you kind of almost see it painted. You're like, that's where I'm going to go towards. This I have zero feelings towards. Hmm. I think it's just tidy up around that arm a little bit. I'm sure it's because I've just started, and as I start to put things down on it, it will start to pop to life a little bit. Blocking out those first colours is always the most, for me anyway, the least interesting part. Weekly RPG thing, Dungeon Crawl Classic, nice. Well, it was the same with Despair. I started this last week, and I think because I just sat here and did fur, I was an hour in. I was like, oh god, I might just stop the stream and just put this thing down because I wasn't interested in it. But I think once I kind of started to do the mouth and the nose, and it started to look like this kind of, and started doing the sort of, the damage on the armor and stuff. I started going, oh, actually, I quite like this miniature. It's quite a cool looking mini. Um, but for the first hour, I was like, ugh. Could just put it down. So, oh. Oh yes. It's just the Event Horizon style. Oh man, that would be so good. That would be so good. That would be so good. Oh. You'd have to get one of those disclaimers at the beginning of it for people to sign. Sign this. This is gonna get effed up. If you've watched Event Horizon, this you know this is going to be messed up. I think I saw someone the other day did post like after that whole kerfuffle at whatever show it was. Was it UK Games Expo or whatever it was? They're now like there is like a consent form or something. I mean that's just crazy, but a D&D consent form. It's like I agree with you. On this surface you're like this is nuts. What like it's a bloody game. But then if someone springs on you in your game that there's going to be a very horrific scene of some description that's not just murder and things like that, but it's a sensitive thing, then I can understand why people might get a bit upset. Oh really? Oh wow. No, of course not, buddy. Yeah, no, of course not. Crikey. Yeah, I think it's I get it. I'm so gutted I didn't like find sort of D&D or role playing when I was younger. Although I don't know who I would have done it or who I would have played it with, but maybe I would have found a gaming group or something because it is an absolute blast. If anyone's not done it, you should you should do it. And you should do it and go fully into it and take on the character and have a laugh with it. Yes, please. Yeah, that would be amazing. Give me some heads up on it, and I will absolutely be part of it. And I will. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yes, definitely. Exciting. That's exciting. I want to do it. What am I looking for? That Militarm green might be good. Oh, awesome. I always pick up the like the humble bundle type things where it's like supporting a charity and there's a whole load of D&D books and things like that. I always pick those things up, one because it's great to support the charity, and two, they're always very generous in what they give people that do support them. So yeah, you end up getting some nice books. Not that in this effed up world we should be needing to give money to support something that should just be basic human rights, but hey, that is the world we live in. Oh man, yeah, if it can make any difference in the world, we're going to hell in a handbasket at the moment. I think I saw today on the news that Trump's still planning to run his re-election sort of campaign this weekend. You know, one of these big rallies he does, and you know he wants crowds to turn up because these things are always better with crowds, even though there's a freaking pandemic going on, and because God forbid he can't do it or has to run it and have a virtual crowd or run the event as an online event or anything else apart from stick people all in a room shoulder to shoulder with each other. Because all of those things would be far too sensible for the most powerfulest man in the world. Not based any of this warband yet. I still haven't decided what base they're going to get. I'm thinking because it's likely to be Frostgrave, they're probably going to get snowy bases. I'm going to go and watch some tutorials on how to do. I've done lots of snow bases before. I did an entire high elf army on snow bases, but I won't say it was done very well. So I'm going to watch some tutorials on how to do good looking snow. A little bit of hair there resting on the old barrel. It's nice. Ah, no worries, man. Get yourself all ready, set to go. So, are you do you GM these sessions, or are you just taking part? Ah, nice. I was going to ask, I wondered how many times you get to play versus being the man, being the dungeon master. Ah, cool. Well, no, not that being the DM isn't also playing, because it is also. I mean, I've only ever done it for groups of kids, like my son and his friends come round, and well, when they used to be able to come round, and we'd sit around this table behind me, and I would do like a one shot or something for them. You know, find one online and run a one shot. Yeah, brilliant. I was doing that on Monday. Twitch actually went down on Monday, so I know some people dropped in to watch it, but we did notice that Twitch was having some major problems. But I was trying something new as the GM was talking, and because obviously I'm running the stream, and she's just on Discord, sort of talking us all through the adventure. So what I was trying to do is, as she was describing the scene or what was going on, I was then adding sounds to the stream. So no one else could hear them, but the stream would have been able to hear, like, if we were in a forest, there was like, trees music, well, not tree music, but just found a rogue piece of flash. Um, yeah, just different sounds. Oh, you heard it. Okay, that's good then. Because literally, you could, like, we went into a tavern, and I literally Googled, or YouTube sort of, fantasy tavern ambience, and there's video you can play straight away, um, and it was quite good fun actually. Some hits and misses on what came up in the list, but I mean, I could hear it, and the stream could hear it. None of the other players could hear it, so I need to just pipe that music into the Discord as well. But yeah, I think in our current campaign that we're playing, I reckon we're maybe not too far away from an end. I reckon we've kind of finally cracked what the hell was going on, because the whole thing was like a massive puzzle. The situation that we found ourselves in. So I think we've finally understood, and we now know where the big bad is. So in theory, should be able to. No, she is from. I think. Why do I want to say Sweden? But I don't think she is from Sweden. She might be Swedish though. Pretty sure. Yeah, I want to say Sweden. Yeah, she's got a great accent, hasn't she? Yeah. Yeah, she is. So the people that so there's Jerry who is um he's in this campaign is playing the paladin, and he's a 6 foot. I think Jerry must be 6'3", 6'4". Sort of looks like a a Wookiee, Irish fella, and he's a really good GM as well. He did a Call of Cthulhu one with us, and was really good. That's sort of the name of real life, yeah. So Jerry's really good at it. Um, and then Lena's done. So we did Call of Cthulhu with him, and then Lena's done D&D 5th edition. Tuffy, who is playing the barbarian dwarf. I'm not sure where Tuffy's from. She don't think she's from Ireland. I think she's from the UK. I think she's up north. Um, she wants to do a weird World War Two. So I think that's what we're doing next. I can't think what the game system is. I think you might have mentioned it before, more. But yeah, it's weird. I think it's Weird World War Two. So that's what we're planning to do next. I think. Um, and then yeah, I'll probably give it a go after that. Um, Actun, cool. That's what it was. Yeah, that's the one. That is it. And then I will probably, if I get to do your Event Horizon one shot, I'll probably do something inspired from that, because that whole horror sci-fi, you know, yeah, it's just the ability for it to go a bit mental. Would be great. Because that's what I did like about the Call of Cthulhu one, was it wasn't all just about fight. It wasn't a lot of fighting. There was very little fighting. In fact, when fighting came, it was probably because you're sort of, it was last resort, right? So I like the investigation bit of it. I like the just trying to work out what the hell is going on, and then the weird and wonderful things happening. And then by the end, you've all gone mental. You've all gone nuts, and uh, highly likely that, in fact, we didn't all die. We didn't succeed either. I think we all ended up in various jails and all that. Yeah, go man, chuck it in. Yeah. Let's have a look. Scientist, teamster, android, marine. Ah, this looks super cool. He's very hard to survive. Ah, cool man. I will pick this up. Oh, there's a free PDF, although I'm a sucker for getting a book. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man, did jump in. I'm still not feeling this model, man. I just don't like it. Don't like it. Oh no, don't worry, man. There's not a test. It's okay. I don't know, man. Have you jumped into role playing? Have you done much before? Oh wow, awesome. Oh, you're like a veteran. Year-long campaign. Okay. I genuinely don't know how you guys like sort of prepare that. Like, do you literally have to sort of bounce off things every week depending on where things went, and I guess you always have an idea where you want it to go, but it could be completely taken off the rails, right? I don't know. Don't know why I've painted this shaft silver. It's not going to be silver. It's going to be wood, but never mind. Come back to that later on. Yeah, you must have done. Do you ever get that more? Do you ever get someone in the group like take an action that almost derails the whole thing? Guess that's part of your job to constantly think on your feet about how you bring it back around, right? Oh, jeez Louise. Jesus Christ. Thanks, Jan. Oh my gosh. You give me a heart attack. Look at that, a raid of, what was that, 86? Man, that's insane. Thank you, Jan. You're an absolute legend. Oh man, I was just sitting there saying I'm not really feeling this miniature tonight. I'm sitting there I'm putting paint on it, but I'm just not feeling it. And then you come in and just give me a massive pickup like that. Thanks, buddy. Thank you to everyone who's coming over. Thank you for the follows. Yeah, hang on, I gotta catch up. Mephirol, Gallo Fire, Sydney Bridges, Moo Monster. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mainly no. Inky John. Thank you. Cheers, Jan, mate. Thank you very much, buddy. You're an absolute legend. Very sorry that you've just come from watching Genuine Vision, who's like easily the best painter on Twitch, to me, who is frankly nowhere close. And I'm struggling with this miniature right now. Thanks, man. How was your stream, buddy? I saw you had you was well into the 150 when I saw you earlier. You had like 150 plus viewers, I think, which is awesome. Thank you for all those people that have just followed. Much appreciate it. I'm not a very big channel at all, so anyone who follows is hugely appreciated. I painted a shield, nearly. Yes, but I bet it was the best damn looking shield you've ever seen. The miniatures you were showing before then, when you were showing the Minotaur and the elf guy and the oh man, oh, just freaking beautiful, dude. You're ridiculous. Thank you, General. Chaotic chaotic. I can't even pancake. Chaotic pancake. Wolf Wraith, thank you. uh, I mean, dude, they do look amazing. Was that a Kickstarter? Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone who keeps hitting that follow button. Honestly, it's huge. I may actually hit 200 followers soon. I think I'm 192 at the moment. I need to do a celebration. So unlike January Vision, who recently got partner and is smashing it out of the park, a couple of weeks ago I hit affiliated. So means I get things like the old sub button and things like that, which is nice. So I'm also going to do a celebration stream where I'm going to give away a whole bunch of stuff that I have in a drawer over here, which I've collected over many years. But yeah, every follow definitely helps. So thank you very much. 194 now. See, there we go. Look, that's the latest count. Ah, they're too kickstarted. Well, dude, I'm hoping they just send you those Kickstarters because I guarantee you've made them better than they've ever seen them. Dazpied, thank you very much for that follow. God, crikey, that was a torrade of follows there. Thank you very, very, very much. Amberden, thank you. I don't even know if my oh, it is working. Good. Well, I'm painting these guys. These are just random miniatures. So on the last stream, I painted the bear, and I think this is Atlantis miniatures. I think. Oh, I don't even know what that means. But thank you for. Oh, I got a Oh, thank you, Jan. 2 months, and then my screen's popped up and said you got an emote thanks to genuine subscription. I'm gonna press the button that says thank you. I'll have to look what that means. But I think we just got an emote. Add a message to think. Oh, wow. We just got that emote thanks to Genuine Vision there for subscribing. Cheers, buddy. 2 months in a row, you're my longest subscriber. I've only been had it for 2 months. Yeah, so literally I've been grabbing random miniatures out of the drawer and just deciding to paint them. So thinking that things like Frostgrave, the second edition of Frostgrave comes out soonish. So it'd be nice to have a warband for that. I've also got the Rangers of Shadow Deep book. So, you know, these like random miniatures, one could be used for D&D, they could be used to make warbands in those kind of games, so it's nice to have it. Yeah. Well, yes, look, I'll show you, look. As there's a lot of people in the chat, look, if you do follow, when I post up the stream, we're going to be giving away all of this. So, literally, constantly just chucking prizes out. I'm hopefully going to do that stream either this weekend or next weekend, but definitely not when Jan's is. So I need to. You're doing yours on the 28th, right, Jan? I think I heard you say earlier. So we're definitely not going to clash on days. But yeah, I got loads of stuff in there. I'm never going to get around to it. I want to share the love of it. Right, so it definitely won't be Sunday the 28th, but we might do it in and around that date. So if you want to get yourself a little mini or some other stuff, we'll probably do a big prize as well, because I've realised I've got too much. I'm never going to get around to painting all of this stuff, so we might give away something significant if we meet a goal that day, like I don't know, what could we give away? The Blood Bowl, or even the Horse Heresy Betrayal at Couth box or something like that. I've got plenty of these that I'm probably never going to get around to painting, and then loads of little ones. I know you say there's never too much, but my realisation in this lockdown period is that even in lockdown, I'm still got a massive pile of shame. You know, I painted the whole of Hero Quest during this lockdown, and a whole bunch of Death Watch and a whole bunch of other things, and barely scratched the surface. So yeah, if you wanna give us a follow, and then in a week or so's time know that I've gone live, and you want to jump in and win yourself a prize, I will happily send you something. Yeah, I like his Goobertown does he's got like a box or something where he's put them all in envelopes or something, and then he just puts his hand in the box and pulls out an envelope. Uh, Thanks, Gillen, man. Yeah, definitely. Look, I will definitely be giving away a dwarf giants box. So there you go. Actually, I know one I'm definitely going to be giving away. This one, because I have no use for him whatsoever. Uh, I have these two guys, which I'm never going to use, so they'll go. These will go into the prize pool, and that is the ogre, um, Blood Bowl ogre, and the Blood Bowl troll. Because they will sit there and never ever go anywhere. It was I only do this for fun. I certainly have no plans on doing this any full time at all. So to reach affiliate was just a really nice thing, and it's because of people like Jan doing ridiculous raids of 86 people. So it is huge. Definitely blame Jan, yeah. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and thanks for those that then also stick around afterwards, because you raid someone, and it's fair enough. Those people want to go off and watch their other favourite streamers and that, but it's lovely when a few people stick around, chuck a follow, say hello. I appreciate it, man. So the whole point of this stream for me was I was meant to do I do a thing on. I take these videos and I put them on YouTube just for people to watch if they want to, and some people do. But basically, it's a 2-hour window where I take a miniature from primer to a fairly decent tabletop condition. So this guy, for instance, that was a 2-hour paint job to go from primer to that. Just because I want people to know that it's not such a big scary thing to grab a miniature and try and paint it. You can actually do a really good looking enough job. You can pass the the 3-foot test quite easily. You don't have to overthink it. Just start putting paint on the miniature and it will come to life over time. So that's what this stream was always meant for. I cannot paint to the levels that, say, Jan can. I don't have the eye for it. I don't have the patience, because that man has all of that. But you can make miniatures look. If I grab this guy here, these are sort of 2-hour miniatures. Guys like these, I've been working on my Death Watch recently. So again, if you're chucking these on the table, it can be, you can. Most people, I think, would be happy to have that playing in a game of 40k on the table. And it doesn't take an awful lot of time to do it. Yeah. But then you look at, my miniatures compared to Jan's, and again you go, okay, there's a completely different league. But also, I've got 4 kids, and that's mostly what I paint for. So my kids play with the miniatures. So, it's nice to get them to a point where they look nice, but I'm not going to cry if one of them gets dropped on the floor. which will happen. So recently for this, what it's been is, you know, getting a primer down, blocking out with contrast paints, and then going back and doing my own sort of highlights or touches here and there, just to bring them up a level from the contrast. Because contrast paints are great, they absolutely are good for the right reasons, um, but I think you shouldn't just do them on their own. You should use them in conjunction with the rest of your painting toolkit. Start messy and get to where you want them to be. Yeah, most of the miniatures I paint take about 2 hours. Even this, right? So this is the beauty of contrast paint. If if anyone's on the fence about them, that's my great unclean one, and I painted this guy in about 2 hours. And I'm not. That's not a joke. I mean, the basing not, but the model was painted in about 2 hours. So you don't have to spend an awful lot of time to get, you know. And you might not look great on camera, but trust me, from the 2 foot test when you're playing a miniature from that far away, um, he uh, he came out great. So you can definitely get through your your shames of your pile of shame if you stick to just slapping paint down, work up from that. Uh, just keep going, even if you feel like it's not going well. Just keep going. Yeah, good, Gillum. Good. Don't doubt yourself. You're probably doing more than. It's like with anything. I think when you watch it on Twitch, you kind of. Trust me. I am my own worst judge, right? So I'll always criticise my painting and be unhappy with it. The reality is you're probably doing more than most. A lot of people playing with unpainted miniatures, or you know they've literally primed them and that's it. So if you're chucking some contrast on it and getting it to a 3 foot test where you go, you know what, you should never put yourself down. You're probably doing a lot more than most, and you can't try and well, I can't and I shouldn't compare myself to people like the pros out there that really just they've just got an eye for it. I haven't got that eye. I think there is art. There is, I was never good at art at school. I think there's definitely art at it. By the way, you can put links in the chat, guys. If you've got any models you want to show off, please let me see. I love looking at other people's work. Any Instagrams or anything like that, please share them. I'm talking on. I wouldn't normally have this headset on. I'd normally have a much better mic, but my 3D printers are whirring away behind me, and therefore making a lot of noise. And I've just seen the aeroplane tail that my printer is currently printing, and it looks freaking epic. So I'll show you what I'm printing. Sorry, I would normally do some painting, but I'm so excited to have this many people in the room. I'm talking about other things. So I'm printing at the moment a crashed aeroplane. So this is going to be some post-apocalyptic terrain. So this is the nose cone. You can see inside there. And this is the midsection of the plane. And you can see again, you can see inside. So this is from a company called Printable Scenery that recently did. You're absolutely right, Chaotic. Yep, everyone's got what they're comfortable. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? So yeah, this is what I'm printing at the moment. So what's on the printer right now is the tail fin. So there's yeah. Yeah, no, don't worry. This is gonna mostly be dirt and grime, and it won't have a lovely paint job. So that's what's on that, and then on the smaller printer that I've got, I'm doing all these sort of fence panels and stuff, which are coming out nice. Yeah. So I have two printers. I've got a quite old, and the old one has just finished its print job actually. It's called a Flash Forge Finder. It's about, I want to say 4 years, but it could even be 5. If Mort's still in the channel, mine's about the same age as his, so um, it's about 4 years old. Could be 5. So it's one of the really early day printers, and it is a plug and play. Like there is no, it's all in one unit. I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera, but there's a red one. It's a kind of red lid over the back there, where Gizmo sat. And then the other one is an Anycubic i3 Mega, which is pretty much the sort of the standard printer. But the tail section is looking pretty awesome on that at the moment, and it's nearly finished. It could finish any second actually. But yeah, very inexpensive. If you are ever in doubt whether you should get into 3D printing, if you've got the space and the money, you're talking that printer now, the Anycubic, I think is just over £200, so whatever that is in your local currency, um, it works fantastically. Oh, Traitor Legions, thank you very much for that follow. Oh, 198 actually, crikey. 2 more follows and I hit 200. That's a pretty epic milestone. Yeah, so if I've printed tons of terrain, I love it. And the guys at Printable Scenery, all the models they do. So, for instance, this nose cone uh, prints with no supports. So you'd normally expect, obviously, if you're printing this kind of shape, right? Obviously, it has to print up, and something has to hold up this middle section. But they do it at such angles and such a gradient that it's able to print with 0 supports. So there's no cutting bits out when you're done. There's no fiddling. You take it off the bed, and it is good to go. And I'll hit this with rattle cans, and I might chuck some weather pigment powders at it, and a bit of sand, and bits and stuff just to really dirty it up. And then the paint job doesn't need to be amazing because it's just covered in grime. It just looks like it's an airplane that's crashed in a post-apocalyptic world and has been sat there for some time, getting grimy. So yeah, the next thing on the agenda is whether I go and get a resin printer for printing minis. That's the one thing you can't really do on those kind of printers. They're great for printing terrain because you're printing big bulky objects, but they're not so great at printing fine detail in miniatures. So if that's the direction you want to go and where you want to do miniatures, you're looking more towards resin type printers. Right, where is my snakebite leather? There it is. Yeah, the resins are, I mean, oh god, the stuff you see come off resin printers. When you work out that it's cost you about £1.50 in resin and you've printed this beautiful looking miniature. The only reason I haven't jumped in is I have a lot of miniatures. So I know what would happen is I would be getting all excited, I would be on loads of different people's Patreons, I'd be getting STL files left, right and centre and printing off all these miniatures, and they would just go into the pile of shame, where what I want is terrain. And at the moment, because of the size of resin printers, they've not got very big beds, There's a new one called the Saturn, which has got a much larger bed, but terrain is not ideal for printing on resin printers, really, unless you're doing, I guess, maybe 15mm or something. So FDM it does win over resin in that respect. And also, you're not fussed about the drop in quality, because if you're doing terrain, you're probably not fussed about it. Oh, let's have a look at this. Oh yeah, they're cool. So I mean, man, you go to bed, you wake up in the morning. You've got the printer I was going to get as well, the Anycubic Photon. Yeah, it's really cool. Go to bed, wake up in the morning, and you've got a beautiful set of miniatures waiting for you. Oh, the towel section's finished as well, so in a second I'll grab that. So that means the noise has probably died down a bit as well, which is good. I'm on a bit of a retro kick at the moment. So that, you know, my theme is all sort of retro, and the music's kind of synthwave retro. Whether that'll be the thing forever, I don't know. But at the moment, that seems to be my bag. Child of the 80s. Well, child of the 80s. I'm an old man. Oh, I don't know what to do about this knee pad. I've got the old palette here that I'm not like the look of. We're almost at the fun stuff now, because now the bulk of the colours are down, I can switch to highlighting, etc. Oh, I'm on 199 followers. He's he's going to win the accolade, if there is such a thing. What's everyone else doing? Are they out there? Are you painting? Are you just chilling out and watching stuff? Oh, here we go. By the way, I should definitely give these a follow. I don't know if I'm logged in on this, but if I am, can I click follow? Yeah, I'm following. Following you. Sydney, that looks great. Oh, wow, look at that. It's like a samurai dude riding a lion. What more can you ask? What's this, a vampire? Just cut someone's head off. What's this range from? Oh yeah, look, Empress and Lion Dog Cavalry. Sydney, I should give that a follow. And a like. Give that a like. Nice work, Sydney. Ah, cool, from the Titanfall. Ah, there we go. So yes, that's what I would be doing. I would be the Titanforge one is the one I think I've seen. I think quite a few people that are in the sort of 3D printing space are doing that one because the stuff is so very cool. Yeah, the Elegoo Mars is supposed to be a very good printer. That's the company that's just brought out the Saturn, isn't it? Which is the sort of larger bed version now. I mean, it's not a case of if I get one. It will definitely be a case of just when I pull the trigger on it. But I would definitely say if anyone's in the hobby and they just want to get, you're happy with buying Games Workshop miniatures or whoever, but terrain is always super expensive, right? I find, um, and yeah, you can print. I would grab more out for you, but I've got like Wizard's Tower and building. I've printed an entire table of Flames of War, sort of a Normandy table, so loads of French houses and farms and shops, and even at 15 mil, it's you can fit quite a lot on a print bed and do that. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Although on the table at the moment, I have Reichbusters on the table at the moment, so I'm hoping this weekend we're going to stream me and my sons playing. I think this is mission 4 we've got set out of Reichbusters. But yeah, 3D printer, an FDM 3D printer will pay for itself very quickly in the terrain you'll produce on it. Definitely worth it. Right, I just want to quickly fill in some gaps. Again, if I haven't said it enough, thank you for everyone that's stuck around and followed and just joined in the raid. Huge appreciation. Okay, cool. Right, let's do some. So at that point, he's all blocked out, right? So you've been around with all your contrast paints, and you've blocked out all the major colour areas. Um, and absolutely, you could stop at this point. You could go, you know what? When this all dries, it will dry with some shading. It will do what contrast is designed to do. You'll end up with a lovely basic looking miniature, especially if you were to stick a base on him. You could happily stick this on the table. But that's not all we're going to do. We're now going to spend probably, an hour and 33. It's probably mostly, yes, so absolutely at this point all contrast apart from the metals, which is just lead belcher, but all the rest of the miniature is done in contrast. What you could do is just leave it there. That's, I've been talking an awful lot tonight because of crazy things like being raided and stuff, and showing off some 3D prints. So I wouldn't say I've spent an hour and 30 minutes painting. I reckon I've spent an hour painting. So what you can do now, if you wanted to, is get your more traditional paints, so your layer paints or whatever it is you're into, um, and start to work up some of these contrasts. What I find with contrasts is I don't paint them on mega thick. I always kind of treat them like normal paints, and when they draw back into the recesses, you do end up with like quite whitish highlights. So they can the pink can go very thin. So what I then tend to do is go back round the miniature and pick out little areas where I can sort of lift them up a bit with your more traditional paint. Yes, Jen, basically you massively distracted me. So yeah, not talking about going crazy, but your usual... Well, on my screen it says 199. On my stream manager, it says I'm on 199 followers. So I don't know which one to believe. Bloody Twitch. Bloody Twitch. So Jan, do you think you'd now you're a partner? I guess that means you get to go or could go to things like TwitchCon and that, right? That's for partners, isn't it? Do you think you'd do that? Obviously, it's a significant expense. You've got to get over to the US, etc. But I suppose you've got to at least try once, haven't you? Mine says 180. Oh my god, I'm going down. Oh no, this isn't good. Well, mine says 100. My stream manager panel, which I would hope is correct, tells me my Twitter. Yeah, that's true. Oh, so unfair. Even Twitch is against me. Bad phone. Bad phone. Yeah, you got to do. I think you've got to do it once, buddy, haven't you? And if it's like you say, if it's mostly for the gamers and the, I don't know, the more what would you call them, celebs? But you know, you're in the gang, man. You get a decent coffee, yeah, man. I think the next thing, if I want to take this to the next step, I think the next level for me is maybe move off of camera like webcam and look at getting something more akin to a sort of a DLSR camera for the close down camera. Oh yeah, I realise I've got a bit of a mould line there. Empty. It's got a lovely bald head. So this is, yeah, like the sort of classic, whatever the high-end sort of Logitech is, which is not bad. I mean, I move the camera around a lot, so I move around a lot. I've never quite got used to finding the perfect spot to leave my hands. And you can never be zoomed in enough. Like that's that camera on full zoom, and the camera's only, well, it's below my head, right? The camera's here, and I'm holding this here. The distance between the camera and the thing is about that far, and it doesn't look exactly very zoomed in. When you look at someone like Jan, it's like Yeah, yeah, but I can bet that was a chunk of cash, right? Which I don't mind spending money. Uh, it's just it's hard to justify it for a fun for when it's just like a fun stream. Can't believe I missed part of the axe there. But your stream quality is extremely high, Janet. Is like you say, that camera is lovely, and that is the thing. I guess if you're going to paint on, no one wants to look at you. They want to look at the amazing model. So you need that to be the priority, right? Like when you're streaming a video game, it's a very different proposition, really. Is the chat frozen? I don't think so. So bloody Twitch hates me again, doesn't it? But I did recently do some stuff. So recently I got a bunch of transitions done. Found the company that sort of does these packs. So I've got all alerts and transitions and sort of starting stream screen. I haven't done a sort of. I've got an ending screen, but not a. It'd be nice to do one that sort of thanks like all your subscribers and followers and all that sort of stuff, but I haven't done that one yet. This is a bit too yellow. That one there's a bit too much. Where's the time? It's 10 to 10 in the UK. He's got a couple of like ringlets in his beard here, so I'm just grabbing some Retributor Gold to try and catch those. They're very tiny, so I doubt you'll even see them on the camera. But I'm just going to catch the front of them. There we go. So yeah, even that beard now, I don't know how well you can see it, but all I've done is added a bit of an orange and then a bit of a lighter orange and then a bit of a yellow and so on. It's probably a bit dramatic because your hair isn't really that colour, but these are fantasy miniatures, so I don't mind them being a bit overboard. Um, but it's more than what the contrast on its own could do. So the contrast is a great base because it gives me my instant shading and all the rest of it. And then you just use a layer paint, very small amounts, just to maybe make some of those highlights a bit better. Because whilst it does do some highlighting, because it essentially just pulls away from the top of the model, it doesn't beat an actual highlight. So that is all I've done. Look at me trying to sound like I know what I'm doing. Basically, everybody, I'm winging it. This stream should be called Laughing Boy Wings It. But to my eye, looking at it, even just that what I did then, which is just a couple of, just messing up the bag a little bit because the cloth would be sort of, worn in places and uneven. Even though you guys can't really see it in the hand, you can tell the difference, and it just breaks up the contrast a little bit. And we'll do the same to that barrel as well. We'll grab a light brown and we'll just break up the barrel a little bit. Let me go and see if this tail section's done. 1 second, everybody. Oh, actually, you can come with me. You're stuck to my head. Are we done? Are we done? Oh yeah, we're done. Here we go. So this is the tail section of that plane. Not the rear of the plane, because that's still got to be done. This is just the fin section. So it sits on the table like that. So there's the two flat edges. It sits on the table like that. And you have this kind of crashed into the table fin section. And what was really cool was as it was printing this area and this area. And obviously this bit's in the air on the printer. So it had to join these two things together. So as you're watching it print, you're like, is it going to just miraculously join those together? And it did. So yeah, we have a tail section of a plane. So the next part is actually the rear of the plane with the engines, and then the two wings. Is everyone? Am I still live? Because like you say, I don't think the chat has moved. Ah, I'm good. Oh, thanks, Sydney. Woo! I thought something had gone wrong. Need to find some good Cyberpunk STL files. Good, thanks, Mifiril. STL files want to build a load of Infinity Train. Who? Well, I would definitely take a look at printable scenery. I'm not in any way associated with them, but my personal reference would be those because I've used tons of their stuff. Whether they do, I know the sort of stuff you're thinking of, like what you're probably thinking of, that Infinity type. I don't know if they have any of that. But definitely look at them first because like I said before, the beauty of the stuff they do is not only does it look great, like that plane and everything else that I've ever printed from those guys, but it's all without supports. And supports can be both obviously fantastic because some things need supports to get better posing or whatever, but getting supports right, the amount of time they had to print, the difficulty you might have getting rid of supports afterwards. If you can find something that doesn't need supports, you will be very happy. Right, I want this to be a bit darker, to be honest. Just Might be a bit too. Bit too. Just want to add some streaking or something to this barrel. Cheers, Chaotic. Thank you very much for coming in, saying hello, and thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Yeah, yeah. Um, I can't think of anyone that does that. I'm literally thinking off the top of my head that sort of style, because it is a really cool style. What you're thinking of, I'd be very surprised if they don't in some time. I literally messaged them about a year ago and said, guys, what have you got? You've got fantasy, you've got World War Two. They've even got some Star Wars Legion type stuff, like Tatooine, the dome sort of sand building. I was like, you don't do anything for modern or post-apocalyptic, and they were like, oh, just wait and see. There might be something in the sort of coming. And then then they release this stuff, and it's awesome. Like it's got a it's very much like when I stopped watching Walking Dead. They just kind of got to the point where they've met the people that live in the junkyard, and they've got like the back of a bus as the entrance, and it's all like guarded and stuff. That's what it's like. It's all of that kind of stuff. And it also has this crashed plane. Um, but that's what it reminds me of. There's also no metallic colours in contrast paint. The Black Templar gets used a lot for armour and things, and I've used it and it works very well. Um, but obviously, if you want to do any metallics, you've got to crack out some traditional paint to do so. But again, not going overboard, keeping it simple. Check out the obvious ones, right? So Thingiverse, um, people do stick all sorts of stuff on there, and if and sometimes it's worth looking on there because someone will put an example of a product they then sell the STLs to. So they'll say, here's a building You can print this for free, but if you like this and want to see more, come over to their Etsy store or whatever it might be, and you can pick up the other ones. So sometimes it can be worth checking. Um, Well, I can't think of any off the top of my head right this second that's like that kind of Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell type style. If anyone in the chat knows, do shout. Right, so I'm going to try and do some of this cloak now. What do I want for this? I would like... let's go with... That's too dark. Let's mix a bit of Screaming Skull into something. Yeah, that'll probably work. So we're coming up to the 2 hour mark on this guy. But it's not a true 2 hours, so I'm not going to count it. Because I definitely have not been head down painting for 2 hours. That's for damn sure. So we're going to keep going till you've all got bored of me, or this guy's done. Please don't get bored of me. I must remember to drink something because I've been sat here for nearly 2 hours and I know I haven't had a drink. So let me do that in a second. Mhm. I must admit, when you've got people watching and you feel that, not pressure, but when you feel that you've got there's chat going on, it's so much not. It's so nice. It makes the time go. It doesn't feel like effort. This has just been really nice. Like, I wasn't loving this miniature in the beginning. It was really beginning a bit of a drag. But you know what? Now I've got paint onto him and I can see it taking shape. I'm not loving this red thing that I think I was going to do. Um, 'Cause I think I was a bit worried it's going to be lots of browns. Which, given the style, is not necessarily a bad thing. But now that I'm getting somewhere with it, it's okay. I'm feeling like it's okay. I was trying to have it that this is like a quilted vest underneath that's got a bit of a tail on it, so it carries through underneath. Otherwise, this would have been another brown. I don't know if it's working or not. Don't know if I'm overly happy with it, but I'm not hating it. Right, so I do want a quick little dab of nylon oil just to bring this silver on this weapon down. Oh, it's just so. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with all of that. that rope a bit of love. Just a little bit of fluff down here. Dusty! My dog is barking at a fox that isn't there. See if I can get her to come in a sec. You guys can say hello to the pooch. And she's not thinking she's a guard dog. That's what she currently thinks. I don't like that. That was not the colour I was trying to create. Trying to dirty up these boots a little bit. Dusty. She thinks that, man. Absolutely, that is what she thinks. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get her. I'll take this off, whilst you're going to hear me calling the dog. 1 second. Dusty, what's this stuff here? She ignore me, guys. Sorry. She doesn't care. She wants to chase imaginary foxes. That's fine. I won't take it personally. No pooch time tonight. I'm sure she'll come barging in a second. There are foxes in the yard. It is what she believes. And once in a while, she's right. Sometimes there is a fox, but not very often. I have got the door open because it's still quite warm. It does mean I'm probably going to get eaten alive by every midgy creature. Right, I'm definitely looking to finish this miniature soon. We're getting to that point where I'm like, this is 2 hours. 2 hours is the magical cut-off point. You should be able to paint a miniature to a fairly decent tabletop standard in 2 hours. Which means more time for gaming and less time looking at that backlog of shame. Oh, some GTA 5, nice. Enjoy that. Thank you for being here, saying hello, giving a yeah, just being around, man. Thank you. It's awesome of you. I was gonna say the little guy, but that just sounds stupid. If there's one thing I'm not, it's small, as in the actual size of the person. Right, I do want some Screaming Skull just to do some of these more bandagey type wrappings on his arms. And then I think I'm almost done. In fact, I'm going to say pretty done, unless something jumps out at me whilst I'm doing this. I want to darken it up a little bit. I don't want it too bright. Because then I'm definitely into that 2 hour painting window. And it's not a hard and fast rule, clearly. If you're in the groove and you feel happy with what you're doing and you're getting the progress you want, you should absolutely spend more time on your models, of course. And I would say it depends on what you're wanting to do with it, right? Are you painting to play with it? Are you painting to stick it in a display? Make sure you know why you're spending the time you're spending on it. Yeah, he's looking alright. He's doing alright. Oh my god, I've actually got two eyeballs that look like they're looking straight at me. Crikey. That's rare. Quick, take it as a win, move on, move on. Let's not talk about it. It just happened. Thanks, Mithril. If I can, hopefully I'm getting that name even close. Mithril. But it's a pleasure having you. Right. If there's still people around at the end, which hopefully there will be, you've all been absolute diamonds sticking around. We will definitely find someone else's channel to throw some love at. I'm definitely reaching an end here in a sec. I'm just touching it up every now and then. Just that bit on the back there, I don't like. I think the red's bled over a little bit. I'm just going to tidy up this edge. There we go, folks. I think this is my tabletop Dwarven Warrior done. I think we did it. I think we got there. I think we started off with something I wasn't very happy with. Went backwards and forwards with a bunch of contrast paints. And we've now, one thing, just quickly, very quickly. Very tiny highlight on this gold. But there you go. There's my Dwarven Barbarian ready to help out his friends in anything that they might come up against. Cool.